Hello, everybody. I hope you guys are doing well, having a great day or a great night. So, folks, one of the reasons, the main reasons I didn't record it before is because we didn't had a big change or a fundamentalist change or something that completely ruined the scenario that we had. So, all we had was a slightly change so far on Tether dominance. Okay, it is significant. Yes, it is, but it is not something that make a change. Not yet. Okay, and of course, the Tether dominance. It's an important factor today. Yes, it is, but it's not everything. Okay, so it is a part of this bigger frame, the bigger picture that we are in. Okay, because all the markets, everything is connected. There is no wild cards. Um, yeah. So before we jump into the charts, I'm going to talk about the forecast that I made months ago. You guys are familiar with this, right? So I shared this on May 21. Uh, yeah. So one of the reasons I'm bringing this into this video, I will explain to you guys how it works. Okay. So following the method that we have, either we are right or either we are wrong. So, for example, I can be 60% right, 40 wrong, or 70% right or 30 wrong. Either it's 100% right or either 100% wrong. Okay. In the meantime, this is significant. Yes, it is. So we reached multiple targets, multiple, and in different markets, currencies, precious metals, crypto, stocks, indexes, etc. So it is very, very significant. But we still need time, right? We are talking about multiple months. We are talking about a trend. What is the trend? It's a bullish trend, right? Until there is. So, just for you guys to understand this, we never had a bear market in the whole history. We can talk about a recession, yes, deflation, yes, but what is a trend? A trend, it's when we have higher highs and higher lows. That's a bullish trend, okay? But when we start to have lower highs and lower lows continually, that's a bearish trend, okay? So big corrections are part of it. So for example, 100% up, 80% down is still plus 20%. So it never went into negative territory. And this is very, very important to understand where we are. Okay. So, uh, Dow Jones, we made the target. We did it. SP 500, target. Wheel 5000, I made a mistake on the chart. So I used the wrong chart, but eventually this index here will reach the target. Okay. So, yeah, the 2000 index, target. Gold, target. Silver, target. The dollar, pending. Bitcoin, target. Coinbase, target. Okay, so here we can see that this plan, if you will, this picture, it is not fully played out. We still need the dollar to reach 89 points. Now the thing is, if everything is correct, but if somehow the dollar makes a turn and everything changes like this, then this this bigger picture here will be wrong, even though was wonderfully profitable, right? So it is kind of how can I say it's like I said, it's either one or either other. It's like I am all in or I am out, and I have no fear. Like I trust what I do, but it doesn't mean we are going to be right all the time. Okay, so just for you guys to understand that we don't have to keep making videos to talk about things that we already talked about before, and we still don't have any big change. Okay, it will be just to appease anxiety, and that's not what we are looking for, right? So we need the dollar, the Dixie, the dollar index at 89 points. If I am right, if it is not going to be the end, it can even go uh, south a bit more. Okay, but we can do this step by step, one day at a time. We don't have to hurry, okay, because we are ahead in this game. So we have time, and we can work with numbers. Okay, so I'm using the same methodology just to show you guys what is different. Okay, so there is a friend of mine, a guy that I really love, uh, a good friend that wrote on X that we are in a bearish trend, and I 100% disagree, 1000% I disagree, because right now we are fighting in two realms. One is the technical realm, the realm that we can see, data, numbers, etc., that can be validated. And the other realm is the psychological realm, the psychological warfare. Okay? So, how someone can say that we are in a bearish trend if we don't have bear breaks? So, we already talking about this as well, and we still don't have any proof about bearish trend, not even a bear market or whatever. Okay, so people are just speaking their anxiety, their fears. They get loud when they are scared. That's what's going on in social media. So, for example, where is the bear market? Where is the bearish trend here on stocks? We don't have any, because if if we had any, it would be something like this, and it wouldn't be a bearish trend. It would be a monster correction, which is something completely different. Okay. And also, just for you guys to have an idea, let me explain to you what a bearish trend or a bear market means. A bear market means the end. Okay. It's the end of investments, the end of creation, the end of jobs, the end of innovation, the end of expansion, growth, all of it. Okay. Uh, so this is a bear market. A bearish trend would be something very, very similar. Okay. So, for example, a real bearish trend would represent extinction or depression. Okay. So, for example, we do know that the 1929 depression was also caused by what? A insane and crazy growth over past years, right? So it was so crazy that people that had no idea about the stock market and all these things, fundamentals, they were making money. Okay. And when it happened, nobody saw it coming. So all those people lost everything out of the blue. So that was a, let's say, a recession correction. Okay. If we take a look into the decades and years, and because when we talk about trends, we are talking about multiple years, always. Okay. Always. And so if we consider the past on the 1929, we were down, 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 down below, and then bang, insane surge to then have a strong correction. And then the market continued to go up because it's expansion, growth, innovation, jobs, technology, all of it. Okay. So, yeah. So, again, down to, and by the way, you guys remember the exercise is still the same. For this guy to be positive, this one here has to be negative. They can work or can move into the same direction. This is the law. Okay? Here we have a perpetual law that will never change, ever. Okay? So, again, either we are in the right direction, or either there is something coming that we don't know or can't see. And then you guys remember better. People, fear mongers, talking about the Japanese bonds that would collapse the global economy, that they would raise 0.75 points. And folks, here's the thing. Uh, Japan is registering levels of inflation. Okay, so it's starting to see levels of inflation, but they were into negative rates for a long, long, long time. Long time. So these numbers are not significant yet, but they show a direction. And the end of this direction, this path, that is concerning. But all of these things take time, take time. So, for example, you guys remember back in 2007, Dr. Michael Burry, yeah. So he saw it coming. He was right about the event, but wrong about time. And that was very, very painful and costly for him. And not only for him, for his clients as well. So uh, when the way I see people who are bearish, so they are right about the event, but they are wrong about the time. Okay, and among many many other things. But to make short story, that's how I see, and in my opinion, nothing changes. So let's get back to the charts because every time we talk about fundamentals, there is so many things to talk about, and it just go crazy. So Dow Jones, it's looking good. Yes, stocks. The Fed, it's cutting interest rates, is making repo operations again. So they said they would start in 2026. It had no date, but they stopped at QT in December 1, and QE already started. Okay, and even if you take a look on M2, the supply, money supply, it went up by $90 billion. Okay, it went up and down, and now it's up again. So it's happening, and it's a new all-time high. Okay, so we have many many things to consider, way too many, and from what I see, none of them are bearish in the short term. In the short term, I'm also bearish, but not today. I'm bearish about the near future. Okay, so Dow Jones, it's looking good. Yes, the dollar, we don't have anything crystal clear here, but in my opinion, feels like consolidation before continuation. Okay, and we have a scenario here that is interesting to consider, but it is not fully developed. Okay, we still have to wait longer, if you will, to let's say, okay, so this is clear now. So right now, my focus is on the fundamentalistic side. Okay, there is nothing clear on the chart. Okay, I'm going to the fundamentals. When there is something clear here, I'm going to draw the lines. Okay, but just for you guys to see something here, let me show you something about pattern structures or whatever, just for you guys to take a look. Oops, not here. Because I acknowledge a structure on the Tether dominance, which was developing such a beautiful way, but then it failed by the time. Okay, so we had something like this on Tether, as you guys saw before in previous video. Oops, just a sec. Oops, not you. Okay, so this right here, whatever the way we look into it. Okay, and so it feels like, oh, it's a break, now it's going. It doesn't work like this, folks. Okay, because such a small move, it is highly unlikely to invalidate its nature from previous months. Okay, that's why we have to wait. There are many, many times in scenarios that we gotta wait to have a confirmation. Even though I believe the proper word, it's not confirmation. Let's say clarity, to have a better idea, more clues, or a better proof. Okay, so here it feels like a break from what could be a descending triangle, right? Just like Tether dominance. If we take a look, it's almost the same scenario, just for a comparison, okay? Because this one here, people saying that it would be a break would be validated in the short term, because both these pivots here were a higher high against the previous one. So it could be, let's say, a technical bull break. But again, the candles are not bigger than the events. Okay, so this approach is dangerous. Okay, so oh, it feels like now it's going, it's a bull break, broke from the descending triangle, this is it, it's over. Very dangerous. Very. Okay, so I am having this, still have the same mindset here on both. Okay, I still believe that in times of inflation, the money goes back to the markets. People purchase things because money lose value. Okay, so just for a comparison, okay, we also could read this. I don't think it's crystal clear to do this. Yeah, on the Dixit is not, but here on the Tether dominance, you see this one there it is not valid. This one here could be okay. So could be. I'm making adjustments. So making adjustments, it's always bad. Okay, because we are getting closer and closer and closer and closer every inch. Okay, so it's dangerous. Uh, so structure wise, we could say, okay, so it still look like um, a bear flag. Okay, but I'm not looking to structures only. First fundamentals, then we look into the charts, then we try to make the best idea out of it. Okay, so this is the way. And by the way, do you guys remember that when we flip the dollar index, we end up with euro against the dollar? You guys remember, right? So just like stocks and the dollar index, we can't have both in the same direction. And the same thing is true for the dollar and the euro. They will never go into the same direction. So the trick is when we flip the dollar index, we find euro against the dollar. Okay? So think about this. Just a second. Let's go into the 3 days. Now let's go into the weekly. Yeah. Okay. So this is the dollar index here, upright. Okay. Here, dollar index. Okay. When we flip, we end up with the euro. Okay. So in this scenario right here, the euro feels bullish in my opinion, and automatically the dollar has to be bearish. And we do know that the dollar index is in a bearish trend because we have confirmation or clarity, while the euro will be automatically in a bullish trend. Okay, just for you guys to have an idea, let me zoom out and you guys will understand. Okay, this, folks, this is a bearish trend. High, lower high, lower high, low, lower low, lower low. This is a bearish trend. And the euro so far is in a bullish trend. Okay, but of course, we're not expecting the euro to rock the top. I don't believe there is enough time, but this is crystal clear. Bullish trend, bearish trend. Okay, so these are facts, not opinions. Okay, it is not something that I'm making up to appease my bias. Okay, now we are going to do the same thing once again, total tree, excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum, and looking into the Tether dominance once again. Just give me a second. Okay, so on the bigger picture, among many, many years, this is what here, down below on the left. Okay, so we are here. Okay, so far, there is no change. Even after Bitcoin went down big time, we still don't have any change here. And total tree, for you guys that still don't know, it's out season. Okay, so let me get closer and show you guys something. So we have people that are calling this a bear market, a bearish trend, right? And most of these people, many of them, are bearish since 2021, calling for the ultimate crash. This is it. It's over. The bear market is in. It was fun. Okay. And now it's over. Since 2021, for almost 5 years, they are bearish. Every year, they call for a bear market. Okay. So, by any chance, this move right here, it's bigger than the one right here? No, it is not. And just like I explained it before, even if we went down big time for the doomsday, it would still be a bullish trend. And why? Because previous high, previous low, and we still have the high and the higher lows. So these are all step-by-step process that show what we really have and not what we want. Okay? And so we have some people saying, well, but if we see this in advance, it gives us a better idea. We can be ahead. Yes, but you can also be wrong, right? So waiting is dangerous, and calling in advance is even more dangerous. Okay, so that's why I have, folks, I'm not in a hurry. You know, I'm not rushing to figure out what is going on. Okay, so it is okay to be stressed. Yes, it is, but it's wrong to be living by anxiety. Okay, so we have a correction here, and if we take a look, all of these are small candles, which every single one is what? Inside bar trading or daily, weekly inside bars, which means they are still contained inside, which means there is no break, which means it's still a correction, which means there is no change on the trend or whatever, whatever people want to call it. So most of people who doesn't know or understand the fundamentals. They will stick into that things, little things that they hear or see in the internet, and then they skip many of each single steps, the process, uh, or let's say the path. And that's a big problem because that's where most of the mistakes came from. So it's very dangerous. Okay. So let's take a look on the pivots. Previous high, previous low. Huh. We had new highs here, marginal, here on the total tree. Marginal new high. Okay, fair enough. Then we still have the previous pivot. So I will ask you guys again, where is the bearish trend? Where is the bearish market? Okay. And people who are living by their emotions, because people who are scared, they don't want to learn. They don't want the truth because the truth it is going to hurt them. That's why they want the opium. They want to hear what they feel. If they feel depressed, they want depressed news. Okay. So how much we are talking about here? Let's take a look. 33.28%. So people are calling a 33.28% correction a bearish trend. And this, folks, would make any professional laugh. Okay? So far, there is nothing. So far, it could change. Yeah, it could. But right now, there is no change. So why would I freak out or be depressed over something that is not real? Why? Doesn't make any sense, right? So people are suffering over something that is not real. That's why I'm I don't have any problem. I'm not feeling any anxiety. I'm trusting the process. Okay. What else? What else? We are going to take a look into the previous low and the last high. Okay. Just like we draw Fibonacci retracement tool. So we are talking about a 315% upside move in what they most of these people were calling a bear market. 315% gains. And so far, what is the size of this correction? Let's take a look. 33.28%. Does it make any sense? Can you see what is going on? If we had a scenario like this, then I would say this is 100% bearish. 100. No doubt whatsoever. Zero doubt. But it is not what we have. Okay? And in my point of view, nothing changed. Still the same. And I'm just waiting, following the plan. Also, let me tell you guys this. There are some people complaining about the pain. Okay? And let me say this to you. What options you have? You have, let's say, the first option is to follow the plan. Okay? Hero or zero. Trust the process. Okay? Plan B, you could sell, end the pain, and it's over, right? The problem with the first option, is that you will have to wait longer, but you're still participating. Okay? And the problem with the second option is that you will live in constant fear. And if you are wrong, it is going to create a permanent, ultimate, ugly scar that will probably never forgive yourself. Okay? So the first option It's the best risk reward wise scenario. Okay, I'm risking very little, and the reward it's amazing. Okay, and the option B or the second option, quitting, it's 100% risk. Okay, so is it okay? I don't think it is. So why would I quit or just quit the the reward out of the equation at this point? It doesn't make any sense. Okay, so those are questions for you guys to think about and consider. And this, folks, is one of the reasons it is very, very important for you guys not to only learn, but to master risk management, and not only in the markets, but in our daily life. Because with time, as the days pass, you start to apply this in everything you do. Everything. Literally everything. Everything is a risk. Not everything have a reward. Okay? Very important things for us to master. Yeah. So, did we had any change here? Total tree? No, we didn't. The other scenario is if we only consider these two guys here, it still is, at this moment, it still is bullish development. Cold change. Yes, it cold change. But there is a change. No, there is no change. Okay? Also, a very simplistic way to look into this. Very, very simplistic. Okay? Where we go from Fibonacci retracement to all the steps, every single one. So here we have golden bounce from the golden zone 6180. Now roaming around 780.60. It is not enough for a monster call right now, but it's looking good. Okay. Every time, so let me say this to you. Every time we are staying above the 50, it's great. And every time we are staying below the 50, it's bad. Okay? So either bullish, either bearish. Now, if we do the same on Tether dominance, what we are going to end up with? Again, remember, very simplistic way to look into the charts. So, uh, let's start here. Let's do this step by step so you guys can follow through. So let's start with Tether dominance. Okay. So golden rejection, another golden rejection, golden rejection, golden rejection, and multiple golden rejections so far. From what we do know and understand, these are bearish fundamentals. Okay, it's bearish evidence, not bullish. But if it was the contrary, I would say that this is bullish or could be way more bullish. Okay, so um, let me see. Yeah. Now, when we take a look into the total tree following the same fundamental, what we have? We have bounces from the golden range, multiple bounces, or staying above, staying above, staying above, above, above so far. So one is bullish and the other is bearish. Okay, at the moment I'm recording, these are the fundamentals. It's not my opinion. It is truly the fundamentals they are speaking by themselves. So I'm not making anything up here. It is what it is. We are seeking for the truth, not to be right. This is the most important thing we can do is to never fool ourselves. Okay? Remember this. We seek the truth. We're not seeking to be right. Okay? Now, step 2. Very simplistic way. I'm going to zoom so you guys can see. On this moment, we had one bounce, multiple bounce, and stay above the golden level. Not only that, making high low, low, which is a higher low, higher low, high low, high low. This one we are ignoring because so this is something we are going to talk about just in a second. And high low, and so. So we still have multiple bullish evidence of what is going on right now. Okay. So for example, here, let's see. Okay. If we do the same on Tether dominance, yeah, and make it bigger as for you guys to see. Okay. So we measure from one pivot to the other, right? So this is the way. The orientation is aligned by the pivots itself. Okay. So and I'm going to make another case here for a possible bullish move, which could be, but in my opinion, still it is going to short live. Okay, so let's start from the one that is completely clear. So far, it's still into this range. Okay, so if it goes into negative, then we have to stop for a moment. Okay, so let's bring the the whole setup for Fibonacci here and measure all of it. Okay, that's a second step or a second stage on the follow through. Okay, so for example, which one? Let's take a look. Yeah, I think yeah, that's the only steps we can try to chase for now. Or if the other one, yes, forgive me. So this one right here, right? So could this be a bullish setup? I will tell you guys if we didn't have so first thing, this is an index and we are not going to see symmetry on patterns all the time. So seeing a symmetry here, not there, it still doesn't mean much. Okay, we always have to remember this. So if this were a bullish setup, or if it is, which I think it is not, then we still could see a strong upside move, another. Okay, but right now we still don't have it, and I don't think it is going to happen, but it is still possible. I don't know how, but still possible. I don't know how, really. Looking into the events, fundamentals, Fed policies, trade wars, it's over, inflation cooling down. And by the way, this is very important. The inflation report came at 2.7, came cold, below expectations. And this is great because the Fed can once again cut interest rates. And they already started the quantitative easing. So we have almost a perfect scenario. And early January should have happened this December, but early January, we are going to have clarity and law for crypto. Okay, so if we were at a high, a very top, I would say that that scenario would trigger a sell-off. Okay, but the scenario that we have is the opposite. We are going down for almost a year in consolidation, still contained, but down chasing the event. We do know that this work as an inverted pivot. Okay, just like the comparison we did with the Fed, the FOMC meetings. You guys remember? All of them were pivots, inverted pivots. We saw this in advance. Okay, so we don't have a lot to talk about. I don't think we have more things to talk about here. So let's jump in, take a quick look into XRP. Okay, so we are back. So let's take a look here and let's try to understand what people are talking about. Yes. So people are saying we are in a bear market, a bearish trend, right? So what is the last pivot that we had that it's not a scammy pivot? Is this one right here, right? When we measure, we have what? We still have high low, okay? High low. Very aggressive, yes. But also this upside move broke from the previous one. So what we can expect, it's the same aggression in the both directions. So it is something like this. Or let's say what we could expect. Not this. This is a scammy week. We saw this and we're going to talk about this just in a second. But something like this, a easy new low could be expected. Remember, in the past, people were already bearish and calling for the end. 50 cents, you guys remember? And I said, it is a trap. It is a trap. This is not over. And we were 100% right once again. Okay. So we don't have symmetry here. We don't. Now I'm going to show you in a different way. Okay. So we had little deviation above the 100% mark and little deviation even with this scammy week below the 0% mark. So once again, there is no bear break here. Where is the bear market? Where is the bearish trend? Right? Also, we can't forget, this is also very simplistic. Where, folks, where is the bearish trend here? This is very, very bullish. Okay? Very. It's very common to see retraces or corrections. It's the same thing. After a big monster move into this whole range here. Whatever the range, it's 38, 50, or 61 still bullish because it still is strong higher low. And we are not even close to it. Not even close. And we still have people freaking out because they can't endure the pain anymore. They can't. They won't accept. They can't believe. Okay? So there are, I would say, to be honest, like 25, 30, 40, 50 different things that we could take a look. Let's say 25 in the charts, 25 on fundamentals, or 50 in the fundamentals, that things are still looking good. Okay? And this is something that boggles my mind that I can't accept. These people try to convince me to be bearish as well. So, for example, I will never be in the same side as Jim Cramer, Mr. Buffoon, and others who just flipped their mind. They were 100% bullish, now they're 100% bearish out of the blue. So I will never be on the same side of these people. Never. Never. I do know that I'm not going to be 100% right all the time, but I will never be on the same boat that they are. This is something that I will never do. Never. Okay, so when we take a look here on XRP against the euro, it's even better. So where is the bear break? Where is the bearish trend? We don't have any. It's still inside bar trading, which means it is still contained into a range, which means it's consolidation. It is not a bear break. And we could even do something else. So let's work with XRP and Euro only for now. So let me show you guys something. So this is XRP on the 12 months. Look at this, folks. People are calling a single candle, a small candle, a bearish trend. Does it make any sense? Of course not. Now let's go into the 6 months. Take a look into this. Both look bad. Both look bad. But after an insane upside move, yes, both are still contained inside the previous one. Yes. What does it mean? It means that so far it's inside bar trading. If you want more information about this, ask search on the Google. Okay. Now, take a look into this. So here is where things start to becoming more interesting. Okay. Way more interesting. So we have this power candle followed by what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 12 months inside bar, inside a power candle. Okay? Where is the bear market? Where is the bearish trend? We don't have any. We have inside bar trading. This is very popular candlesticks study. Okay? Now let's go into the 2 months. No change, nothing new. 1 month, no change. Okay, so we are almost at 50 minutes long video. So let me tell you guys something. Do you guys remember all the times that we talked about these scammy weeks? That I told you guys this, that we should observe because this can become a standard, okay, like something that we can always trust. And after this one, in my opinion, it becomes a standard, okay, a new standard or something. Let's say so. It is not something completely new. It's happening for a long, long time, but right now I feel safe to say that this is we can acknowledge this or create a rule for this to acknowledge this. Okay, so what does it mean? It means that if we completely remove this wick, what we have? We had a bearish pattern here, which I talked about back in the day, descending triangle, right? Then we had the break, going back to chase more value, flat structure, went down, going back to the floor, and now we have a new low. So we had the base. So let me clear this. The base, low, marginal low, lower low, lower low. But we still have the higher low. This empty body here, it is just nothing. It's like a markup. Okay. It gives us a false impression of something that is completely monster bullish, but it is not. Not in the short term. Okay? In the short term, it is not. And also, if you pay attention, folks, we are going down, yes, but all these red candles are little candles. Okay? The only power candle we had was this one that end up almost completely invalidated. Okay, so we still don't have anything new. We still don't. Okay. Another way to take a look here, it is not Ishimoku, it's VRPR. Adjustments, little. Probably not going to be a big deal here on the euro. So let's take a look on USD. It has to be Binance or Coinbase. Yes, Coinbase. Adjustments made? Yes. So what is the level that holds more value here? 238. So this, at this moment, it's 55 cents XRP when XRP back in the day, remember? I was talking. We are still ranging from 55.89 and very soon we are going to blast. You guys remember? Okay. So 238, it's the new 55 cents. Okay. Uh yeah. So below we have little interest. Little for Coinbase on the dollar pair. Little interest. So all the interest right now, it's right here. That's it. We have, just for you guys to have an idea, let me try this. We have shorts. Uh, so this is the overflow too. And then we have longs close to these levels. Okay, it is not 100%, but let's try this. So something like this. Okay, so shorts and longs. If a squeeze is about to happen, it searches volume, okay, profits. Where we have more profits, or the exchange can profit more from where? If they liquidate the longs, they will have to pay more on the short side, which is way more money, right? Longs. But if they liquidate shorts, they have to pay less money. Because right now, if I'm not wrong, we have more shorts than longs on XRP, if I'm not wrong. Okay, so I saw this chart a few days ago, and we had more shorts than longs, probably in this period right here. Not accounting what people who are long since the 50, 45, $1 range. All these people are really cool. They don't have to worry about anything. Okay. So guys, once again, where is the bearish trend? Where is the bear break? A bear break would be something like this: low, high, more than 100% retracement. That would be a bear break. So how people are calling that we are in a bear break, bearish trend, bearish market? Opium, straight opium. And like I told you guys before, If if we end up with something new, I will be the first to rush and say to you. Okay, so a closer look on XLM. Let's take a look on the pivots here. So here we have two full sets of pivots. This one here is still young, right? So you guys know the drill. We gotta wait, see how it is going to develop, and then we will have a much better idea. But so far, there is no bear break. Where is the bearish trend? We don't have any. Yes? Simplistic way to look at things. Fibonacci retracement tool from the previous low. Just a second. All the way to the high. Yes? Take a look. This is the classical example that we just talked about on XRP because XRP is way stronger than XLM because XRP is ranging around 780.60, the first level. Okay, while uh, it is not it is not 23. Forgive me, folks. It's just because I'm using the inverted one. Okay, but it's still the same thing. And here we have what? A completely health correction. Why completely health correction? Because every time the correction stays above this whole range, it is completely bullish. 100%, 1000%, 10,000%, 1,000,000% bullish. But if it were the contrary, would be 100% bearish. Out of curiosity, this, you can interpret this as total tree, still bullish. When we look into Tether dominance, still bearish, in my opinion. And following the fundamentals that we still have here that are intact. Where is the bear break? We don't have. Where is the bear trend? We don't have. Are we inside the honey spot? Yes. It is completely healthy. Corrections around this range for any bullish trend? Yes. Always. And will always be. And this is a law. Okay? Folks, some of you guys asking me to take a look into other assets, but it's this 1 hour long video already, so there is always a lot of things to talk about. But let me read a message from one of our friends, which I thought it's interesting. So, hi Houston, hope you are well. Can you perhaps give us a brief explanation of where we should park our profits after this bull market? If in cash, for example, then which currencies? I'm from South Africa, and our currency can be volatile, even though it's been doing well against the dollar recently. Thanks, mate. So, first thing, folks, you got to understand what is the scenario in your country. Okay, what is the correlation of your currency and the dollar? So, for example, one advice for people who are in the Europe zone, it is not going to be the same for people who are, for example, in Australia. Just one example. Okay, so you got to figure out. Uh, for example, right now, right now, uh, actually, so let's talk about the after. Okay, so let's focus on the after. He wants because it's a big topic. It is not something just easy to talk about. So the after. I am going to park probably all of it in my account. Okay, so I will be parked into local currency. What is my retirement plan? I am going to use all these funds into passive income. Okay, so my strategy is to lend like 70, 80%. to the government and I'm going to collect interests. Okay, so this is what the smart money do. And the other, let's say 10, 15, 20, I'm going to spend and enjoy life. Okay, this is my retirement plan. I could do this already, yes, but it is not the time yet. I can make the best out of it. Okay, so I'm not in a hurry. Uh, Trying to invest after you take profits can be dangerous. Okay, if you completely understand and know the market's mechanics and you have no doubt, you can play, right? There's no problem. But be sure of what you're going to do because playing with currencies, it's dangerous. Okay. Especially because, for example, here in my country, if I'm going to purchase the dollar, it's 30 cents more expensive because they increase the spread for people to not trade a lot and make a lot of money from volatility. So it's stupid, yes, but for me, it is not a opinion, a a option. Forgive me. Okay, so for example, would it be wise to purchase gold or silver? They still risk assets. Okay, so they still overperform the dollar, yes, but in times of trouble, risk assets go down. Okay, so again, folks, this is just my opinion based on my reality. Okay, based on the rules that I live here. I will park 80 to 70 probably percent passive income lending to the government treasuries, and the other percentage I'm going to spend. This is my plan. Okay, so please think about it. Don't do crazy things. Don't be greedy. Okay, this is the most important lesson that we can learn in this field. Never be greedy because there will always be more and more opportunities. The market, they invite us, okay, when the time is at hand. Okay, so yeah, so guys, for now, this is it. If there is something new, I will rush to update you guys, but at this moment, we don't have. Forgive me for the long video, but there is always a lot of things to talk about. Uh, this is not something just ABC. It's very complicated. There is a lot of fundamentals here to be considered and put on the table. Yes. So, yeah, you guys know the drill. Folks, thanks for your time. I really appreciate it, all the support, the kind of messages. Yes, I was in a really, really bad shape a few days ago, and I still have to make one surgery that I had to delay because of my mom, and then I will have to make another. Yeah, so it's not like life at risk, but it's something very, very painful. Okay. In the best opportunity, I will tell you guys what it is, but not today. Yeah, and a lot of things to deal with. Also, marriage, handling my own papers, lawyer process. There is a lot of things, a lot. Yeah. So, guys, thanks again. You guys are amazing. Uh, Hold to the fundamentals. Okay, put your trust in the fundamentals, not on others' opinions. Okay, so here I share with you guys fundamentals. You don't have to care about opinions. Focus on the fundamentals and you will be okay. Right? So, guys, thanks again. I will see you guys soon. Stay safe and see ya.